In just a moment.
The NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Head & Shoulders. Shoulders were made for greatness, not dandruff.
Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a first down. They'll look to throw again. Brought in by Coates. 11 yards on the pickup, and it's good enough for a Pittsburgh first down.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? To throw now on first down. Out left side here to Bryant. And he's brought down after a good gain. 30 yards on the pickup there. And the Steelers are going to have a first down. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged, because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
Green 39! Green 39!
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. 10 yards still left on second down.
Here we go now. 319! 319!
Back to throw again. His pass caught at the 4. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Marcus Wheaton, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers are able to strike for 6.
Man, he just ran a terrific route. Extremely hard to defend when it's run that precisely and the ball's delivered that accurately.
No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now here comes the Steelers defense once more. They were able to force that 3 and out. That led to a touchdown. Defenses obviously love 3 and outs. They want more of that.
They created a very short and not too sweet stint for the offense by getting them off the field that fast, but it set up their own offense, gave them a little spark, and they took it downfield and scored.
Now the question, can they do it again? Let's see. They start the drive on the ground with Lacey. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
On second down, here's Rodgers. He finds Randall Cobb with a completion. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Now a first down carry. It's Lacey. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Now Lacey, 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to third down.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
From the gun on third down, Rodgers. And this is caught on the sideline. But no, they'll say out of bounds. He caught it but was not in bounds, incomplete. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and that just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
Now Brown. Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence, does a great deal for your team, gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration. Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there to swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. But on that play, the defensive tackle had the leverage, and he won the battle. No gain, correct?
No gain. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes. This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Time to step aside. We're back to Lambeau following these words. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
A give to Bell. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
The give is to Bell. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4.
It's amazing how much advice defensive players get on third down. You hear the bench screaming out, watch the draw, watch the screen, watch the pass here. Very rarely do they reference watching the fullback, and he slipped through and picked up a first down.
Here we go. Green.
From the 4-yard line, it's 1st and goal now. Here's Bell, and he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
They come out here in the eye. And they'll turn to a power game to try to get in. And now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the Packers. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. A field goal would make it a 2-score game, but they're going to go aggressive. They're going to try this thing on 4th and goal. They come out with 1 back and 3. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. It's their quarterback. Ties LT with his 31st touchdown of the year. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half.
And this one through the uprights and good. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
The drive with Lacey. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
I can't help it. I'm just sitting back in admiration right now. This defense tells everyone that plays against them, you're not beating us running the football. That's who we are. That's what we're about. It's not going to happen. If you're going to beat us, you better pick another way.
They run it again with Lacey. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the 1st half of play. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. Let's take a look back at the 1st half. The Packers came into today's game after a rough showing a week ago, and it's been more of the same. The Steelers are trying to stay on the attack and are not allowing the momentum to shift away from them. All right, let's get straight to it. Here's some highlights from the 1st half. Offense out now following the turnover. The catch is made after a quick pass, and this play will go for 6. That puts them up by a touchdown. Now midway through the 1st, the pass is completed into tight coverage, and this play will go for 6. We're tied back up at 7. In the 2nd quarter, completion is made across the middle of the field. He caps off the 7-play drive with a score. That takes the lead up to 7. Steelers take over late in the second. QB sneak is on here, and he goes in for the score. Steelers up now by 14.
All right, Larry, these two teams back.